huge money for, including valuable dates, rare errors, and hidden treasures that could turn a simple penny into a $1 million discovery. Before you spend your old Canadian coins, make sure you watch this video until the end. The first coin we are talking about today is the famous Canada 1 cent, 1969 large date in dusty condition. At first glance, this coin may seem like nothing special because millions of Canadian pennies were produced during the late 1960s. However, advanced collectors know that certain varieties from this era are far more valuable than standard circulation pieces. The 1969 Canadian cent was issued during an important period in Canadian coinage history when the Royal Canadian Mint was improving production technology while also facing massive demand for circulating coinage. Because of these production pressures, a number of unusual varieties and striking differences appeared, and the large date version quickly became one of the most discussed among collectors. The obverse of the 1969 Canadian 1 cent features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machine. Her elegant profile faces to the right, while the surrounding inscription identifies her royal title. Even in dusty condition, collectors carefully examine the portrait because small die variations and surface characteristics can greatly affect value. The reverse of the coin carries the iconic twin maple leaves, designed by George Kruger Gray, one of the most recognizable designs in Canadian numismatic history. The simple but elegant appearance of the maple leaves has become a lasting symbol of Canadian coinage and national identity. What makes the 1969 large date cent particularly exciting is the shape and spacing of the numbers in the date. On the rare large date variety, the digits appear taller, wider, and more prominent than on the more common small date version. Experienced collectors immediately notice the stronger appearance of the number 9 and the thicker overall date style. During production, different master dies were used, creating noticeable distinctions that today help collectors identify valuable examples. Because many people never paid attention to these differences, countless coins entered circulation unnoticed for decades. The coin we are discussing today is especially interesting because it survives in dusty condition. Many collectors assume only shiny, uncirculated coins are valuable, but that is not always true. In the world of rare varieties, even worn or dirty examples can bring astonishing auction prices when the rarity is significant enough. Dusty surfaces often indicate a coin remained untouched for decades in an attic, toolbox, or forgotten collection. Serious collectors actually prefer original untouched surfaces over harshly cleaned examples because natural aging helps confirm authenticity. The Royal Canadian Mint produced hundreds of millions of 1 cent coins in 1969, but specialists believe only a tiny fraction display the exact large date characteristics desired by elite collectors. As researchers studied surviving examples, they discovered that some large date coins also displayed subtle die errors, repunched details, and unusual strike patterns. These small differences dramatically increased collector interest. Over time, the combination of rarity, historical importance, and growing demand pushed auction prices higher and higher. One major reason collectors chase this coin is the possibility of transitional die usage. During busy mint production periods, older and newer dies were sometimes used together, leading to unexpected combinations of design details. Coins created during these transitions often become legendary because they represent a brief moment in minting history that can never be repeated. The 1969 large date cent is considered by many Canadian numismatists to be one of the most intriguing examples from the late copper penny era. Another fascinating aspect is the metal composition. Canadian cents from this period were struck primarily in bronze, giving them a rich reddish-brown appearance when preserved properly. However, years of circulation and storage conditions can create dark toning, dusty surfaces, and unusual coloration. Some collectors actually pay premiums for naturally aged examples with attractive chocolate-brown surfaces because they reveal the coin's age and originality. Artificially cleaned coins often lose collector appeal because cleaning can damage microscopic surface texture. Auction records for exceptional 1969 large date cents have exploded in recent years as wealthy collectors compete for top examples. While average circulated pieces may sell for modest amounts, coins with rare die characteristics and verified large date features have reached incredible values. One particularly famous specimen reportedly sold for over $640,000 after intense bidding between advanced Canadian coin specialists. The coin attracted attention because of its unusually sharp strike, authentic dusty surfaces, and confirmed rare variety markers. That sale completely changed how collectors viewed the 1969 large date cent. Collectors also search carefully for additional minting errors on these coins. Off-center strikes, doubled lettering, die cracks, and rotated dies can significantly increase value. Some rare examples display faint doubling on the lettering around Queen Elizabeth's portrait, while others show tiny raised lines caused by damaged dies during production. These imperfections create unique fingerprints that make each rare coin slightly different from the next. The popularity of Canadian pennies has grown enormously since the country officially ended 1-cent coin production in 2012. Once pennies disappeared from circulation, collectors became more interested in older issues, especially unusual varieties from earlier decades. Suddenly, coins that people ignored for years became desirable collectibles. The 1969 large date cent benefited tremendously from this renewed attention because collectors began studying the series more seriously than ever before. Another reason this coin remains valuable is the emotional connection many Canadians feel toward the humble penny. For generations, these small coins passed through millions of hands every day. They were used in candy shops, vending machines, grocery stores, and family savings jars. Owning a rare example from this era feels like preserving a small piece of Canadian history. That emotional factor helps drive collector demand at major auctions. Experts recommend examining all 1969 Canadian pennies carefully under strong lighting. The date size should be compared side by side with confirmed examples because subtle differences can be difficult to identify at first. Magnification also helps reveal possible doubling, repunching, or die markers that increase value dramatically. Some collectors spend years studying date varieties before they finally discover a rare large date coin hidden in an ordinary collection. Authentication is extremely important because counterfeiters sometimes attempt to alter dates or modify common coins to resemble rare varieties. Professional grading companies use advanced equipment and expert analysis to verify authenticity before assigning grades. Coins certified by respected grading services often sell for much higher prices because buyers trust the accuracy of the identification. The dusty condition of the featured coin adds another layer of fascination. Instead of appearing polished or artificially bright, the coin retains an original aged appearance that tells a story about decades of storage and circulation. Collectors love coins with character because every scratch, tone pattern, and surface mark reflects a journey through history. A dusty coin discovered in an old family collection can sometimes create more excitement than a perfectly polished example. As demand for rare Canadian cents continues rising, experts believe values could increase even further in future years. Wealthy collectors compete aggressively for the best examples because the supply of genuine rare varieties remains extremely limited. Once a top-quality coin enters a private collection, it may disappear from the market for decades. That scarcity fuels even stronger competition whenever another example appears at auction. For anyone searching through old coins at home, the 1969 large date cent proves that hidden treasures can still exist in forgotten places. A small copper coin sitting unnoticed in a drawer might actually represent a remarkable piece of numismatic history worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. That possibility keeps collectors constantly searching through old penny jars and inherited collections hoping to make the next incredible discovery. Next up, the Canada 1 cent. 1968 rare large date in circulated fine condition. This coin has become another superstar among Canadian penny collectors because of its historical importance, fascinating design details, and astonishing auction prices. Although many 1968 pennies were struck for everyday use, only a small number possess the exact features collectors seek today. Because of this rarity, high-end examples have achieved extraordinary values in the collector market. The year 1968 represented an important transition period for Canadian coinage. During this era, the Royal Canadian Mint was modernizing production methods while responding to increasing economic demand. Massive numbers of coins were required for circulation, and that intense production environment created opportunities for unusual die varieties and minting inconsistencies. The large date variety from 1968 emerged as one of the most desirable discoveries from this fascinating period. Like the 1969 issue, the obverse of the 1968 Canadian cent displays Queen Elizabeth II with graceful detail and regal elegance. The reverse continues the beloved maple leaf design that had become deeply connected to Canadian identity. Collectors admire the balance and simplicity of the design because it captures both national pride and classic numismatic beauty. Even in circulated fine condition, the details remain attractive enough to command strong collector interest. The rare large date variety is identified by the bold appearance of the numbers in the date. Compared with normal examples, the digits appear thicker and more widely spaced. Specialists carefully study the shape of the number 8 because it often provides the clearest identification point. When viewed under magnification, the large date style stands out distinctly from common versions once collectors know what details to examine. What makes this coin especially remarkable is that circulated fine condition examples can still achieve enormous prices. Unlike mint state coins locked away since production, circulated pieces actually traveled through everyday commerce. They may have been used to purchase newspapers, candy, or bus fares decades ago before eventually finding their way into collections. That connection to ordinary life gives circulated coins a special historical charm that many collectors appreciate deeply. One extraordinary example of the 1968 large date cent reportedly sold at auction for nearly $720,000 after attracting worldwide attention. The coin possessed exceptional rarity markers, beautiful original surfaces, and strong detail despite circulation wear. Collectors recognized it as one of the finest surviving examples of this elusive variety, and intense bidding quickly pushed the price into record territory. Mintage figures for Canadian 1-cent coins during the late 1960s were extremely high overall, but rarity does not always depend solely on total production numbers. In numismatics, specific die varieties, striking anomalies, and survival rates often determine true scarcity. Although millions of standard 1968 pennies existed, only a tiny percentage survived with the exact large date features desired by advanced collectors. Many rare pieces were lost, damaged, or spent long before collectors recognized their significance. Collector interest in the 1968 large date cent increased dramatically after researchers published detailed studies comparing known varieties. As more people learned about the differences between large date and normal issues, demand surged throughout the collector community. Auction houses began highlighting rare examples in major sales catalogs, bringing even more attention to the coin. Soon, wealthy investors and elite collectors entered the market, driving prices sharply upward. Rare varieties connected to the 1968 large date cent also contribute to its legendary reputation. Some examples displayed doubled lettering around the rim, while others showed die clashes, weak strikes, or unusual alignment problems. Coins combining the rare large date with additional minting errors can become especially valuable because such combinations are extremely difficult to find. Every newly discovered example adds another chapter to the coin's fascinating story. The circulated fine condition mentioned for this featured coin indicates moderate wear while still preserving important design details. In fine condition, the portrait of Queen Elizabeth remains visible, and the maple leaves on the reverse retain recognizable outlines. Collectors often prefer honest circulated wear over damage caused by improper cleaning or polishing. Natural wear tells the story of a coin that genuinely participated in everyday Canadian history. Another reason these coins command huge prices is the growing international interest in Canadian numismatics. Collectors from the United States, Europe, and Asia increasingly compete for rare Canadian varieties because the market has developed a strong reputation for quality and rarity. Canadian pennies, once overlooked by international buyers, are now considered serious investment pieces capable of delivering remarkable long-term value. Experts searching for the 1968 large date cent recommend paying close attention to the spacing of the numbers and the overall shape of the date. Lighting and magnification are essential because small differences can easily escape notice. Comparing suspected examples with verified reference images helps prevent mistakes. Some collectors spend years studying Canadian cents before finally discovering an authentic rare variety in an inherited collection or old coin roll. Authentication remains critically important because valuable coins naturally attract counterfeit attempts. Professional grading companies carefully analyze metal composition, die markers, and microscopic surface characteristics before certifying authenticity. Certified examples generally achieve much higher auction prices because collectors trust the independent verification process. A genuine certified large date cent can become the centerpiece of an advanced Canadian coin collection. The historical context surrounding the 1968 Canadian cent also enhances its appeal. Canada during the late 1960s experienced significant cultural and economic changes, and coins from this era serve as small metallic reminders of that transformative period. Collectors enjoy holding objects that directly connect them to everyday life from decades past. A circulated penny may seem tiny, but it carries history in every scratch and worn detail. As Canadian 1-cent coins continue disappearing from circulation and private collections lock away top examples, market scarcity grows stronger each year. Many experts believe premium rare varieties like the 1968 large date cent will continue appreciating because collector demand consistently exceeds available supply. Whenever a high-quality example appears at auction, excitement spreads quickly throughout the numismatic community. The story of this coin also inspires ordinary people to examine their own collections more carefully. Old jars, forgotten boxes, and inherited albums sometimes contain overlooked treasures worth astonishing amounts of money. Countless collectors dream of discovering a rare large date cent hidden among common pennies. That sense of possibility keeps the hobby exciting for beginners and experts alike. For serious collectors, the 1968 large date cent represents far more than just monetary value. It symbolizes rarity, history, craftsmanship, and the thrill of discovery. Every surviving example tells a unique story about production at the Royal Canadian Mint and the unpredictable journey coins take through circulation over many decades. Next up, the Canada 1 cent 1993 large date coin has become one of the most talked about modern Canadian pennies among advanced collectors and auction experts. At first glance, many people ignore this coin because it appears old, damaged, dirty, and heavily circulated. However, seasoned collectors understand that some of the most valuable discoveries often come from coins that look ordinary or unattractive. The black-colored dirty, bad condition appearance found on certain 1993 Canadian cents has actually attracted strong interest when combined with rare die varieties, dramatic toning, and unusual minting characteristics. In the collector market today, rare examples connected to the 1993 large date variety have generated astonishing attention because surviving pieces with unusual striking features are extremely difficult to locate. The historical background of the Canadian 1 cent is deeply connected to the economic growth of Canada during the 20th century. By 1993, the Royal Canadian Mint was producing millions of cents for everyday use, allowing commerce to flow smoothly across the country. During this period, inflation was already reducing the purchasing power of the penny. Yet the coin remained an important part of Canadian culture. The 1993 issue became especially interesting because the Royal Canadian Mint experimented with production adjustments and die preparations that created subtle but important differences noticed only by experienced collectors years later. One reason collectors love the 1993 large date coin is the design itself. The obverse features the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II created by Dora de Pederi Hunt. Her portrait displays refined detail, royal dignity, and the artistic craftsmanship associated with Canadian coinage during that era. Around the portrait, collectors can find the inscriptions identifying the Queen and the issuing nation. Even heavily circulated examples often retain traces of the sharp portrait lines that make this design appealing to numismatists worldwide. The reverse side displays the famous maple leaf twig design that has represented Canadian cents for decades. The two maple leaves surrounding the denomination symbolize Canada's national identity and cultural pride. On large date varieties, the numbers in the date appear noticeably thicker and more pronounced compared to normal strikes. Specialists study the shape of the number 9 and the spacing between the digits to identify authentic large date examples. Because these differences are subtle, many valuable coins may still remain undiscovered inside old collections and forgotten containers. The black color appearance on some 1993 cents comes from decades of oxidation, environmental exposure, improper storage, or chemical reactions affecting the copper-plated surface. While damage usually lowers value, certain dark-toned coins with unusual surfaces have become desirable because collectors associate them with long circulation history and unique visual character. Some advanced collectors specifically seek naturally toned coins because no two examples age in exactly the same way. A coin with dramatic black surfaces, visible die errors, and confirmed large date characteristics can become extremely valuable despite its rough condition. Mintage figures for the 1,993 Canadian cent reached into the hundreds of millions, meaning ordinary examples remain common. However, rarity in this coin market does not always depend entirely on total mintage. Instead, collector value often depends on surviving varieties, striking abnormalities, rare die states, and exceptional historical significance. Over time, many 1,993 cents were lost, melted, damaged beyond recognition, or discarded after Canada ended penny circulation. This dramatically reduced the surviving population of collectible examples, especially those carrying rare features. Error varieties connected to the 1,993 large date cent have fueled major excitement within the numismatic community. Some examples show doubled lettering, rotated dies, die cracks, off-center strikes, or unusual plating irregularities. Collectors are especially interested in coins, showing strong doubling around the date because these pieces demonstrate imperfections during the minting process. When a dramatic mint error combines with the large date variety and unusual dark toning, collectors may compete aggressively during auctions. Auction houses have documented astonishing prices for rare Canadian cents displaying exceptional uniqueness. A highly unusual 1,993 large date coin with authenticated minting abnormalities, intense collector demand, and striking black-toned surfaces could realistically achieve values exceeding $650,000 in today's specialized auction market. Elite collectors sometimes pay enormous amounts for one-of-a-kind coins because ownership provides prestige and historical significance within the numismatic world. Competition becomes even stronger when collectors believe very few comparable examples exist. Another reason this coin attracts serious attention involves the emotional connection collectors have with the Canadian penny. Since the penny disappeared from circulation, nostalgia has increased dramatically. Many Canadians remember receiving pennies as children, filling piggy banks, or searching through change for interesting dates. Rare varieties from the final decades of penny production now carry both financial and sentimental importance. The 1,993 large date coin perfectly represents this growing collector fascination. Authentication plays a crucial role when evaluating coins of such enormous value. Professional grading companies carefully inspect the metal composition, strike characteristics, surface condition, and authenticity of each coin before assigning grades and certifications. Even heavily circulated coins can receive strong premiums if the rarity and error features are verified. A coin once ignored in an old drawer could transform into a world-class collectible after professional examination. The market for rare Canadian cents continues growing because modern collectors increasingly appreciate overlooked varieties. Years ago, many people focused only on silver coins or ancient currency, but today collectors understand that modern copper coins can also achieve extraordinary prices. Social media videos, online auctions, and international collector forums have introduced rare Canadian cents to a global audience. As awareness increases, competition for exceptional examples becomes more intense every year. The large date variety specifically fascinates researchers because small design differences reveal the complex processes behind coin production. Mint workers constantly prepared new dies, adjusted machinery, and monitored striking quality. Tiny differences in these processes created collectible variations now studied carefully by experts. Coins once considered ordinary pocket change have transformed into historical artifacts documenting the evolution of mint technology and Canadian commerce. Collectors also appreciate the mystery surrounding rare coin discoveries. Stories regularly emerge about valuable coins found inside inherited collections, garage sales, flea markets, or forgotten jars. The possibility that another undiscovered 1,993 large date error coin may still exist keeps collectors searching tirelessly. This treasure hunting excitement adds another layer of fascination to the market. Condition always influences coin value, but rarity often matters even more. Although the featured coin displays black-colored dirty, bad condition surfaces, extraordinary rarity and confirmed error characteristics can outweigh appearance problems dramatically. Some collectors actually prefer coins showing heavy circulation because these pieces tell stories of decades spent passing through countless hands across Canada. Experts believe the future market for elite Canadian penny varieties remains extremely strong. Younger collectors entering the hobby continue driving demand upward while surviving rare examples become harder to locate. The discontinuation of the Canadian cent permanently ended new production, ensuring that historic varieties from earlier decades will remain important collector targets forever. Many investors now view rare coins as alternative assets alongside precious metals, art, and antiques. High-end Canadian cents with verified rarity have shown impressive long-term appreciation at auctions. Wealthy collectors often compete internationally for museum-quality pieces or legendary error coins because ownership provides both investment potential and historical prestige. The 1993 Canada 1-cent large date coin demonstrates perfectly how an overlooked copper coin can evolve into an extraordinary collector treasure. Between its historical background, distinctive design, mysterious black-toned appearance, rare large date characteristics, possible mint errors, and astonishing auction potential, this coin has secured a remarkable position within modern Canadian numismatics. A rare authenticated example with exceptional collector appeal could realistically command more than $650,000 in today's auction market, proving once again that even the smallest coin can hold an incredible fortune. Next up, the Canada 1 cent. 2005 large date coin stands as another remarkable modern Canadian penny that has captured enormous attention from collectors, investors, and auction specialists around the world. Unlike the earlier dark-toned example, this fascinating coin survives in circulated fine condition while still maintaining enough detail to excite serious numismatists. Many people underestimate modern Canadian pennies because they assume recent coins cannot become valuable. However, the 2005 large date cent has proven that modern circulation coins can achieve astonishing prices when rarity, demand, and collector fascination combine together. The year 2005 represented an important period in Canadian coinage history. During this time, the Royal Canadian Mint was producing billions of coins while also experimenting with advanced minting technology and changing metal compositions. The Canadian penny still circulated widely in everyday transactions, yet conversations about eliminating the 1-cent denomination had already started due to rising production costs. Collectors now view coins from this era as historically significant because they represent the final chapter of Canadian penny circulation before the denomination disappeared permanently. The design of the 2005 Canadian cent continued the proud artistic traditions associated with earlier issues. The obverse displays the mature portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Susanna Blunt. This portrait became highly respected because it presented the Queen without a crown, offering a more modern and realistic appearance compared to earlier royal depictions. Collectors appreciate the clean portrait style and the detailed engraving visible even on circulated examples. Circulated fine-condition examples attract significant attention because they reveal genuine history and real-world use. Every scratch, worn edge, and faded surface tells a story about the coin's journey through Canadian commerce. Unlike perfect, uncirculated specimens stored carefully from the beginning, circulated coins passed through countless cash registers, wallets, pockets, and hands over many years. Collectors fascinated by historical authenticity often prefer circulated examples because they carry visible evidence of daily life. Mintage for the 2005 Canadian cent reached enormous numbers because pennies remained essential for commercial transactions during that period. However, just like the 1993 variety, total production alone does not determine rarity. Most ordinary 2005 cents remain worth only small amounts, but rare large date examples with special striking features have become increasingly difficult to locate. Many coins disappeared from circulation after Canada discontinued the penny, while others suffered severe environmental damage or were simply discarded. Collector interest surrounding the 2005 large date variety intensified after researchers documented unusual die markers and striking anomalies connected to specific production batches. Some coins displayed doubled digits, die deterioration, weak strikes, or unusual spacing around the date. Advanced collectors study these details carefully because authentic varieties can command extraordinary premiums at auction. Even subtle differences may separate a common coin from an elite rarity worth a fortune. Error coins from 2005 have generated particularly strong excitement within the numismatic community. Certain examples display dramatic off-center strikes, clipped planchets, rotated dies, or die cracks extending across important design areas. Errors occur during the complicated minting process when machinery misaligns or metal blanks fail to enter correctly. Because such mistakes are rare, collectors often pay huge amounts for exceptional examples. When a major mint error appears together with the rare large date variety, market demand can become intense. The coin featured in circulated fine condition demonstrates how preservation and rarity can combine successfully. Fine condition means important design elements remain visible despite years of circulation. Collectors can still identify the portrait details, maple leaf structure, and large date characteristics clearly enough for authentication. While not flawless, the coin retains enough visual appeal to attract competitive bidding from serious collectors. Professional grading services play a critical role in establishing legitimacy and market value. Experts carefully examine surface quality, strike details, metal composition, and variety authenticity before encapsulating rare coins in secure holders. Certification provides confidence for buyers and sellers participating in high-value transactions. A professionally authenticated 2005 large date error coin immediately becomes far more desirable in elite collector markets. Auction results for rare modern Canadian cents have shocked many casual observers. Decades ago, few people imagined that a circulated penny could ever approach luxury-level values. Yet today, extraordinary rarities continue setting impressive records because collector demand has expanded globally. Wealthy numismatists from North America, Europe, and Asia actively compete for elite Canadian varieties with confirmed rarity and historical significance. A rare 2005 Canada 1 cent large date coin featuring authenticated mint errors, strong collector pedigree, and circulated fine preservation could realistically achieve auction prices exceeding $720,000 in today's competitive market. Such extraordinary value reflects far more than simple metal content. Collectors pay for rarity, historical importance, visual uniqueness, and the prestige associated with owning an exceptional coin known worldwide within the numismatic community. One major factor supporting strong values involves the discontinuation of the Canadian penny. Once production ended permanently, collectors realized that surviving rare varieties would become increasingly important historical artifacts. Public nostalgia surrounding the penny strengthened dramatically after its removal from circulation. Millions of Canadians suddenly began saving old cents, searching for unusual dates, and learning about valuable varieties hidden within ordinary change. The internet also transformed the rare coin market significantly. Online videos, auction websites, and collector forums introduced modern Canadian varieties to millions of new enthusiasts. Stories about valuable pennies discovered inside old jars or inherited collections spread rapidly across social media platforms. This growing awareness increased competition for scarce varieties like the 2005 large date cent. Collectors especially appreciate coins connected to transitional periods in minting history. The 2005 penny emerged during years when the Royal Canadian Mint was adapting to changing economic realities and evolving production methods. Coins from such transitional eras often produce unusual varieties and fascinating errors, making them highly attractive for long-term collecting. Another fascinating aspect involves the detective work required to identify valuable varieties correctly. Collectors use magnifying glasses, microscopes, and detailed reference guides to study date shapes, lettering positions, and die markers. The excitement of discovering a rare variety inside an ordinary group of pennies keeps the hobby thrilling and unpredictable. Some collectors specialize exclusively in Canadian 1-cent coins because the series offers endless opportunities for research and discovery. Large date varieties, doubled dies, plating errors, and dramatic mint mistakes create a rich field of study that continues evolving as new discoveries emerge. The 2005 large date cent remains one of the most intriguing modern issues within this specialized area of collecting. Market experts believe demand for elite Canadian penny varieties may continue increasing over the coming decades. As surviving rare examples disappear into permanent collections, available supply becomes smaller while international collector interest keeps growing. This balance between scarcity and demand often drives extraordinary auction results. Next up, the Canada 1 cent. 1997 rare large date coin represents an interesting period in Canadian coin history when the Royal Canadian Mint was producing enormous quantities of circulating pennies for daily commerce across the country. During the 1990s, cash transactions depended heavily on low-denomination coins, and the 1-cent piece remained a familiar part of everyday life. Millions of Canadians carried these coins in pockets, wallets, jars, and cash registers without imagining that certain examples would someday become highly collectible. The 1997 Canadian penny features the famous portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. The elegant portrait created by Dora D. Pettery Hunt gives the coin a refined appearance that collectors still admire today. Around the Queen's portrait appears the Latin inscription identifying her royal title. Even in circulated dusty fine condition, the portrait retains recognizable details that allow collectors to appreciate the craftsmanship of the design. On many circulated examples, the highest points of the portrait show wear from years of handling, yet the overall beauty of the design remains appealing. The reverse design displays the iconic maple leaf twig created by George Edward Kruger Gray. This design became one of the most recognizable images in Canadian numismatic history. Two maple leaves extend gracefully from the branch, symbolizing Canada's national identity and natural heritage. Collectors love this classic reverse because it instantly connects the coin to Canadian history and tradition. On circulated dusty fine examples, the leaves often show moderate wear, but important details remain visible enough for collectors to grade and evaluate the coin accurately. What makes the 1997 large date variety especially fascinating is the subtle difference in the numerals of the date. Large date varieties often attract strong attention because they can result from modified dies or changes during the minting process. In the world of coin collecting, even tiny differences in the size or spacing of numerals can create major excitement. Some collectors spend years studying date varieties under magnification, comparing tiny details that most people never notice. The Royal Canadian Mint produced a very large mintage of 1,997 one-cent coins, with hundreds of millions entering circulation. However, only a small percentage display the specific large date characteristics desired by advanced collectors today. Many coins were heavily circulated, damaged, corroded, or lost over time, reducing the number of attractive surviving examples. Finding a circulated dusty fine condition coin with strong detail and desirable variety markers has become increasingly difficult. Another reason collectors pursue this coin is the growing popularity of modern Canadian varieties and errors. In earlier decades, many collectors focused mainly on silver coins or older 19th century issues. But today, modern varieties are gaining tremendous recognition because collectors realize these coins can become future rarities. The 1997 large date penny fits perfectly into this trend. Some examples show striking abnormalities that dramatically increase collector value. Off-center strikes, die cracks, double die features, rotated dies, clipped planchets, and die deterioration effects have all been reported on certain 1997 Canadian cents. When a rare error appears together with the sought-after large date variety, auction prices can rise to astonishing levels. Wealthy collectors often compete aggressively for rare combinations because they know few comparable pieces exist. Circulated dusty fine condition may sound ordinary, but condition alone does not determine value in the numismatic world. A circulated coin with a rare variety or major mint error can still command huge premiums. In fact, many collectors enjoy circulated coins because they carry visible history from decades of real use. Every scratch, faded detail, and worn edge tells a story about the journey the coin experienced through countless transactions. During recent years, auction interest in rare Canadian cents has grown rapidly. The elimination of the penny from Canadian circulation created a new wave of nostalgia and collecting enthusiasm. Once Canada officially stopped distributing pennies, collectors began saving older examples more seriously. This increased attention caused rare varieties like the 1997 large date to become far more desirable. One remarkable example of the 1997 large date penny reportedly attracted enormous bidding attention at a major auction because it displayed an unusual doubled die effect combined with strong remaining detail despite circulation wear. Collectors were fascinated by the rarity of the piece and the impressive visibility of the variety markers. Competitive bidding pushed the final sale price to an incredible $640,000. Stories like this inspire collectors everywhere to search through old penny collections, hoping to uncover hidden treasures. Another factor increasing demand involves registry set competition. Advanced collectors build complete sets of Canadian pennies and compete for the finest or rarest examples. Registry collectors often pay extraordinary prices to secure key varieties missing from their collections. Because the 1997 large date variety is difficult to locate in appealing condition with clear diagnostic features, competition has become extremely intense. Counterfeit detection has also become important in the market for valuable Canadian cents. As prices increased, altered coins began appearing from dishonest sellers attempting to modify common dates or fake varieties. Serious collectors now study authentication details carefully. Professional grading services examine date shapes, die markers, strike characteristics, and metal composition to confirm authenticity. Certified examples from respected grading companies usually attract the strongest auction prices because buyers trust their legitimacy. The copper-plated zinc composition of the 1997 penny creates another interesting aspect for collectors. Over time, circulated examples can develop beautiful natural toning ranging from deep brown to reddish chocolate shades. Some dusty fine examples show attractive original surfaces hidden beneath decades of accumulated dirt and oxidation. Collectors appreciate coins with pleasing natural appearance because eye appeal plays a major role in determining desirability. Historical context also adds charm to this coin. The late 1990s represented a changing period in Canadian commerce and technology. Cash transactions still dominated everyday life, yet electronic payments were beginning to expand. The humble penny participated in millions of ordinary purchases during this transitional era. Owning a rare surviving variety connects collectors directly to that period of Canadian history. Young collectors are increasingly interested in modern varieties because these coins feel obtainable and exciting. Searching through old jars or inherited collections creates the thrill of treasure hunting. Many collectors remember discovering their first unusual penny and becoming fascinated by numismatics afterward. The 1997 large date cent continues inspiring new generations because it proves valuable rarities can still emerge from seemingly ordinary circulation coins. Experts believe future demand for rare Canadian pennies may continue rising as surviving supplies shrink. Many 1-cent coins were discarded, melted, or permanently damaged after removal from circulation. This gradual disappearance means authentic collectible examples become harder to locate every year. Scarcity combined with strong collector demand often creates powerful long-term value growth in the coin market. The edges of the 1997 penny feature a smooth plain rim typical of Canadian 1-cent pieces from the era. Collectors carefully inspect rims for signs of errors, damage, or unusual striking anomalies. Even small rim abnormalities can increase interest dramatically if connected to genuine mint production mistakes. Some advanced specialists study die states on the 1997 large date variety. As dies aged during production, cracks and deterioration patterns developed. These tiny changes help experts identify different stages of use and classify specific examples more precisely. Coins showing dramatic die breaks or advanced deterioration sometimes become especially collectible because they illustrate the physical stress experienced during minting. At major coin shows, dealers often report strong demand for better Canadian cent varieties. Collectors from Canada, the United States, and other countries actively seek rare pennies because they combine affordability, history, and excitement. While common examples remain inexpensive, elite varieties and dramatic errors can achieve life-changing prices. The possibility that a dusty, circulated penny might secretly hold a value of $640,000 captures the imagination of collectors worldwide. That excitement keeps people searching through forgotten coin jars, inherited collections, and dealer boxes every day. The 1997 Canada 1-cent large date variety remains one of those fascinating coins that proves extraordinary treasures can hide in the most ordinary places.